Sometimes the biggest spiritual lessons come from the most unexpected places. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most intense, pivotal moments in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna's total breakdown on the battlefield. And to really get our heads around it, we're going to use something you probably played as a kid, the classic game of snakes and ladders. I mean, we've all been there, right? You roll the dice, you're so close to winning, and then bam, you hit a snake and slide all the way back down. So frustrating. But what if I told you that simple little game was never just a game at all? What if it was hiding a profound spiritual secret? Yup, you heard that right. This game we think of for kids, it was actually created in India more than 1,000 years ago. And it was a tool for teaching really big ideas. We're talking karma, destiny, the whole spiritual journey. And honestly, it is the perfect metaphor for what Arjuna is about to go through. Okay, so let's set the scene. We're right at the start of chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. The two massive armies are facing each other. The tension is just off the charts. And Arjuna, this legendary, unbeatable warrior, he just melts down, completely and utterly falls apart. So this is literally the live report from the battlefield. And man, what a report. The guy who's supposed to lead the charge, the greatest archer in the world, is just broken, totally and completely overcome by sorrow. Let's really dig into that description for a second. This isn't just him being a little sad. He is physically wrecked by his emotions. The verse gives us this incredibly vivid picture of a complete shutdown. We're talking eyes full of tears, a grief so deep it's paralyzing him, all because he's looking at his own family on the other side. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so he feels bad for his family. That's compassion, right? It seems noble. But here's where Krishna steps in and totally flips the script. He asks, is this really compassion, or is there something else going on here? And Krishna has a name for what Arjuna is feeling, moha. It's a super important concept. It means that what Arjuna is experiencing isn't pure, wise compassion. It's a kind of delusion, a deep attachment that's got him all twisted up. It's so powerful, it's literally clouding his ability to think clearly, to see his duty, his dharma. So look at this breakdown. On one side, you have this pity born from delusion, from moha. And what does it do? It clouds your judgment, it's based on mine and my family, and it just leads to you freezing up, totally stuck in sorrow. But on the other side, you have true compassion, which comes from wisdom. That kind of compassion actually makes things clearer. It's based on duty, on what's right, and it leads to righteous action. Arjuna, right now, is deep in that first column. And I really want to stress this point. Arjuna's meltdown isn't just for dramatic effect. It is, without a doubt, the pivotal moment. The whole story hinges on this. Seriously, everything changes right here, in this one verse. It's Arjuna's rock-bottom moment that creates the opening, the space for Krishna to begin sharing some of the most profound spiritual wisdom ever recorded. Think about it. Everything up to this point has been setting the stage. The first chapter is even called the Yoga of Arjuna's Despair. But it's here, in this moment of complete surrender, of him basically saying, I can't do this, I'm lost, that the real teaching begins. You have to admit you're lost before you can ask for directions. Okay, let's go back to our game. You know that one super long snake, the one that's like on square 98 and sends you all the way back to square 3? That's Arjuna right now. He just landed on it. He's hit absolute rock bottom. Everything he thought he was, a great warrior, a man of duty, it's all been wiped away. He's right back at the beginning. But here's the cool thing. In the spiritual version of this game, hitting that snake and going back to the start, it's not a punishment. It's actually part of the whole point. Let's take a look at how the rules of this game really work. So it's pretty simple, actually. The ladders, those are the good things you do, your virtues, your good karma. They help you climb up. The snakes, well, those are the tough parts, the consequences of past actions, destiny, the challenges that just knock you down. And the whole goal of the game isn't to somehow miss all the snakes. That's impossible. The real goal is to learn from the fall every single time and just keep playing, keep climbing. And that brings us right back to Arjuna. See, hitting that giant snake isn't the end for him. In a way, it's the real start of his journey. This complete collapse is what finally shatters his ego, his attachments, his delusions. It clears the board, so to speak, creating the empty space that wisdom can now fill. His fall is exactly what he needed to find the ultimate ladder. Okay, so An ancient warrior prince, a battlefield, a board game. What does any of this have to do with us today in our lives? Well, a lot, actually. I mean, think about it. We all hit these snake moments, don't we? Maybe it's a huge setback at work, a relationship ending, a moment where you just question everything. You feel like all your progress is gone and you're right back at square one. But what Arjuna's story teaches us is that those moments aren't failures. They are massive opportunities, turning points where we get a chance to see our own delusions and find a new ladder, a new path to growth. So that's what I want to leave you with. The next time you feel like you've landed on that giant snake and slid all the way to the bottom, remember Arjuna. Remember that rock bottom can be the most solid ground to build on. The real question isn't if you'll hit a snake, it's what you'll do when you get there. Will you see it as game over, or will you see it as the place where your real climb begins?